If you want to know how to add delay to your trap vocals like your favorite rappers, this is the perfect video for you because I'm about to show you how to do that step by step. Just stay tuned. But before we eat a man's hair to become the world's #1 superhero, I've got a question for you. That question is, what is compression used for? Leave your answer down below, even guesses. And if you don't know, don't worry, I'll be revealing the answer later on in this video. Just stay tuned. Now, let's get into it. First off, there are two different types of delay that you should be using for your normal vocals. And when I say normal vocals, I mean your main vocals that you'd use for your verses and your choruses. Two main delays that you're gonna pretty much be using in every single song. Those two delays are a quarter delay and an eighth delay. But before we even add our delay, you need to do this. You need to set up a send track for your delay. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this specifically in Studio One. If you're using any other DAW, every single concept that I'll share in this video will work the same, although you'll probably go a different way to do it. In Studio One, you need to add an effects channel. So if we add an effects channel, we'll get a new one over here. Now, obviously, I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to go with my delay that I've already created earlier. This is, by the way, my Spotify ready vocal mixing template, which you can grab in the description down below. This comes with all my effects already set up. And actually, I haven't done anything to this actual song apart from use this template. And we're going to play back this song a little bit so you can kind of hear what's going on here. And then we're going to walk through everything that you need to do. So first of all, you need to set up that effects channel. And then second of all, you need to actually set up your delay and make sure that it's 100% wet. So none of the dry signal is coming through that effects channel. So this is what the actual song sounds like. We're just going to play a little bit and then we're going to come back in and show you what it sounds like with effects, without effects. We're going to solo it, all that sort of stuff. Let's go.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared a bed, never thought that it was love. Never saw a future where it was just us. Ooh. Let's play make-believe like we couldn't see it coming. Make it seem like if we had the choice we wouldn't take off running, huh?
Okay, cool. That's enough. Now, let's actually go through how this is set up. It's the same way to do this for the quarter delay and for the eighth delay. I suggest you set up both and have them set up at different levels. Mix it the way you want to mix it. As I said, this template is already all mixed. So if you don't want to have to go through all this long stuff, link down below. So this is the delay that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using H delay. This is from Waves. I'll leave a link to this in the description down below as well. And if we solo this delay and our audio track, this is what we get. So this is just our quarter delay coming through. This is what it sounds like. Or we can add anything that doesn't mess with the delay. This is what our delay channel will sound like with the vocal just soloed out, okay?
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared a bed, never thought that it was love. Never saw a future where it was just us. Ooh.
So it's way in the background, like so far in the background you can hardly hear that it exists, but trust me, having that there makes it sound more realistic. It actually puts the vocal in a space where it just sounds like you're actually somewhere and you're performing, and it's not like just dead air between every take. So it really brings everything together more cohesively and makes it sound more whole. So once we've got our delay up, let's actually turn off the rest of these effects. We'll go into those later. The settings that really matter are the delay. So this will be if you're going to go to a quarter or eighth, or maybe even 16th if you're going wild. So quarter beat, we'll do this on the delay. And then the feedback is really what's going to make a big difference in the sound of your delay. The feedback controls how many echoes come after the very first echo and how quickly they decay over time. So if we play this back, this is the delay with no effects. The feedback's currently on 60. This is the delay with just a delay and no other effects with feedback on 60.
Let's play make-believe like we couldn't see it coming. Make it seem like if we had the choice we wouldn't take off running.
You see how it's still going?
Let's act like we love the way it turned.
Absolutely disgusting. Let's turn that off and turn it back on. Damn, it's still going. It's still going. Let's bring it all the way down and let's see what it's like at 20.
And out. Force a smile with both our lips like it don't hurt now. Nothing.
And let's just bring it back to 60, which was absolutely perfect.
Nothing was the same. Got me quoting Drake right now. Nothing feels safe right now. Smoking on me to the pain. Bet he's at your place right now.
And the thing is, you generally want your feedback to end before the next line starts. Easy way to do this is to do some maths, okay? So with this, we'll do 60,000 divided by our BPM, or we'll just get our milliseconds here. So 414, let's get a calculator up, so we'll do it in front of you. So we'll go to milliseconds so we can see what our milliseconds are in BPMs at a quarter beat. So that's 0.0414. So if you go 414 divided by 2 and then keep going, divide by 2, divide by 2, we get to about 51, okay? So if we go to 50, we'd get some good results. Like you generally want to be under 100. So 50 would be cool. I went to 60 because that's just what I liked the sound of. But if we went to 50, that would be pretty okay as well. So let's go to 51, like the result that we got, and let's see what it sounds like. Let's actually bring this back a little bit. This is what it sounds like.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared a bed, never thought that it was love.
And let's put it back up to 60.
Never saw a future where it was just us. Ooh. Let's play make-believe like we couldn't see it coming. Make it seem like if we...
I don't know why, but 60 just sounds better to me. It just sounds like it blends better. And what you want to do is you want to listen back with your send channel pretty loud. And this is pretty loud, like we can hear exactly what's going on. And you want to listen with your vocals soloed. And then you want to listen back to it in the actual mix with everything going on, like so.
We had the choice, we wouldn't take off running, huh? Let's act like we love the way it turned out. Force a smile with both our lips like it don't hurt now. Nothing was the same. Got me
so you can hear that in the background. But keep in mind, yeah, that all our other effects are going to make a big difference on how this sounds. So you may want to wait until adding all the other effects before you go through the whole testing process, and then just keep on going back through all these and seeing if it works out. But it's good at every step of the way to listen back to it with everything up, listen back to it soloed, then listen back to it in context with the rest of the beat, and do those three things again and again until you get the sound that you want and you finish going through this whole effect list, okay? Then you can set the balance you want, then listen back to it in solo, then listen back to it in context, and then Bob's your uncle, you've got the effect that you wanted. Now, in terms of the feedback, with our eighth delay, we actually have even less feedback going on because we want our eighth delay to blend in with the track as much as possible. We don't mind our quarter delay coming out a little bit, but we want to make sure our eighth delay is very, very blended into the background. So this is what our eighth delay sounds like with just the eighth delay effect on and none of our other effects.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared a bed, never thought that it was love. Never saw a future where it was just us. Ooh.
And that's how I generally go about it. When you add more feedback, it can make your vocal sound a little bit bigger, but do too much, and obviously that's going to be too much. So be gentle, don't do too much. And when I use H delay, I like to use the ping pong effect because it goes into both ears and has a nice stereo effect. And I also like to use lo-fi as well. I actually haven't listened without lo-fi.
Let's play make believe like we couldn't see it come.
It kind of softens it a bit and makes it sound more analog. Basically sounds like it's doing a bit of a band pass. So that's quite nice because we don't want our delay to be too sharp. Now, if you want your vocals half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, like me, and you want your vocals to sound Spotify ready before you even get to the mixing stage, you can grab my Spotify ready vocal mixing template. Link down below, go to jcarterray.com/vocal templates. This Spotify ready vocal mixing template also comes with a PDF that walks through all the settings that I use to mix my vocals. So even if you don't want to use the same plugins, if you don't want to use the same DAW, you can use that PDF and go through all the settings and set up a template yourself in your own DAW of choice, or use your own plugins that you want to use. That PDF will walk you through everything you need to know, and it's worth the price of admission by itself. So getting the template with it is a big bonus. Link down below, go and grab that. You're going to save a lot of time and your vocals are going to sound way better, trust me. Now, in general with delays, both delays should be quite low in the overall mix. You don't want it to come through too much. It's best to camouflage them within the mix. You want them to blend in the background, and we want them to be subtle and almost non-existent really. But in order to get that perfect effect, there are a few other effects and plugins that we need to add after our initial delay plugin. Let's go through those now. This will actually clean up the delay and help you get a more professional sound while also pushing it further into the background so that it's not too prominent and it doesn't get in the way of anything else that's going on. Because if we just had a quarter delay just going mad like it is right now, it could really get in the way of the rest of our song. For example, let's just play what we had earlier. Let's unsolo this.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head.
You can hear the delay going off, and if we solo it, you can definitely hear
Let's
it.
pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your
Like, we want the delay to be there, but we want you to think that maybe it's not there. We just want the vibes from the delay, innit? We don't want the delay, we just want the vibes, really. So in order to get that, what we need to do is add a few more plugins. The next plugin we'd add is the chorus plugin. So I just added a simple chorus plugin like so, and this is the effect that we get from adding the chorus plugin.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had.
Let's solo this.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared a bed, never thought that it was love.
So that's the chorus. It pushes it into the background a little bit. Then we add reverb, and this is a plate reverb, and I just use this preset from Seventh Heaven because it's not that important to, you know, deal with the reverb, and we just turn it all the way wet. So this is what we get.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot.
It's kind of like I'm whispering in the background now. Like, it's giving me more ambiance and atmosphere than actually hitting me in the head with the delay, which is exactly what I want from my delay. I want it to be there, but I don't want it to be so noticeable. And then last, but definitely not least, is EQ. You want to get rid of that low end so it doesn't get in the way of the 808s or anything like that. And you want to get rid of some of the high end so it's just cleaned up a little bit and you're just getting the mid tones. So this is what we get when we add all the effects.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never.
You hear how clean that is? It's so clean, it's so subtle. It's like it's there, but not there at the same time, which is exactly what we want. And if we bring in everything and we hear the vocal again, this is what we get. And let's also, you know, play back our 8th delay so you can hear what that sounds like, because I realized that that wasn't on. This is what the 8th delay sounds like with all the effects, and we'll solo it real quick.
Pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared a bed, never thought that it would.
And then with both the 8th delay and quarter delay, again, solo, this is what we get.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a...
Like, it just sounds like a wall of beautiful, luscious sound. And if we was to turn off, you know, all the other plugins that we added after and we just had the delay, it's going to sound messy as hell. This is what it sounds like with both of them without the other effects.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared...
Just sounds a bit like there's too much going on. But with these effects makes a really big difference. And if we bring in the actual beat, this is what it sounds like.
Let's pretend we're friends like we never had sex before. Never had your head on my chest, in my arms like a vaccine shot. Never shared a bed, never thought that it was love. Never saw a future where it was just us.
See? Now, the chorus helps blend it into the background, the reverb helps blend it a little bit more, and then the EQ helps clean it up, prevent any muddiness, and makes everything just sound cleaner and more professional. So make sure you follow through and do exactly what I've shown you, and you're gonna have way better sounding delays that don't get in the way of your mix, that are super subtle, that sound beautiful. But earlier on, I asked you a question, and I'm a man of my word, so I'm gonna answer that question right now. That question was, what is compression used for? The answer is to tame dynamics. The way it does this is by bringing down the volume of anything above a certain determined threshold. So let's say, for example, we've got vocals, yeah? And we want to compress them. What are we going to use compression for? We'll use compression to stop any vocal volume for hitting over a specific threshold. We could set our threshold at like minus, I don't know, let's listen back and see where this stuff is hitting.
Never shared a bed, never thought that it was love. Never saw a future where it was just us.
So all of this is like hitting around minus 24, okay? So we could set a threshold of about minus 30 and be like, okay, if anything hits over minus 30, bring it back down. That's what compression does. It stops the dynamics from getting too high so that you've got more of a baseline, more of a consistent volume throughout that specific track, and then it's easier to set levels and whatnot. It's not to be used to make anything louder. If that's what you're using compression for, you're using it wrong, okay? Watch my video on compression mistakes and vocal compression tutorial and all that sort of stuff, and you'll learn exactly how to use compression the right way. I used to use compression to make things louder as well, so I know I might be clowning on you a little bit, but I used to be a clown too. And you live and you learn. Today you learned, tomorrow you live, hopefully. If you want 5 of my best beats for free, link in the description, or go to jcartere.com/free beats. Understand that if you do not have the rights to use beats, you cannot get your music heard because it can't be on streaming platforms like Spotify and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you grab these beats because they all come with basic licenses allowing you to use these beats and upload them to Spotify and streaming platforms and all that sort of stuff. So definitely click on that link in the description down below. If you got any questions or any other tutorials you want me to make, please let me know in the comment section down below. Check out that video next, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.